Hi, I'm Samuel, and this is Duty. Have you signed up for the launch of There's an Alien in My Toilet on Kickstarter? I hope that you do. It's gonna be a hilarious ride. The link is in the summary. See you there.
What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze today?
In the House of Craze today, we have artist extraordinaire Damien Torres. He is the artist on the Winchester Mystery House. We're going to be talking to him, and we're going to be talking about the importance of being number two.
Oh,
Whatever the hell that means.
oh,
Next.
I never got a prize for number two. Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dreamer, Medina, and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze.
Welcome to the Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George the Dreamer Medina. Oh, remix. What's happening, everybody? What's happening? We are back with another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. And today we have a very special guest, Mr. Damien Torres. He is the artist of the Winchester Mystery House from Source Point Press. We're going to be talking to him today. I showed you guys this on the screen. This is happening right now. I realize there's a little mistake in the opening, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. We also have your Get Your Meds segment, and we're going to be talking about being number two and explain what that is. But for right now, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment below, hit the notification bell, and help us reach 1,000. It is the 25th. So it is February 25th today. Welcome, everyone. What's up, Sam? What's going on, dog?
What's up? You know, that name Damien gives me itches.
Damien gives you itches.
Yeah, it brings me back to elementary school where there was I had some problems with a kid named Damien.
Had beef with Damien?
Yeah, not because of I wanted it. It was because I was singled out.
Damn, son.
It was I don't know why I'm loud up in this mic. But anyway, it was a traumatic time for me because I had a really cool friend named Ricky. And Ricky.
I thought you said Murky.
And he and I were best friends. We went to ball games together, slept over each other's house. We lived on the block from each other. You know,
Nice.
Mom knew his mom.
Okay.
But Damien came one day and surrounded me with a bunch of guys.
Oh.
And gave Ricky an ultimatum. You know, you either stay with your kind, or you get it. You get the smoke as well. And he stepped across the line and went with them, and they were ready to pounce on me. And I was like Speedy Gonzalez. Arriba, andale. I was like, phew! I was like Carl Lewis.
That was Carl Lewis.
Catch me. I was like fast as fast can be, but you can't catch me. I was out. And but yeah. It was a traumatic time in elementary school, and then I had to fight one of his buddies. It was crazy.
Wow.
You know, all you want to do is learn when you're a kid. And you know, fortunately, where I grew up, it was tough.
There was beef.
You know.
There was beef. Yo, you know, I mean, we're gonna get into indie news, and we're gonna talk about everything that we have going on in the craze. But before we do that, I also wanted to thank a few people for all of the support that they've been giving us throughout this whole thing. There's been a lot of independents that have linked up with us through There's an Alien in My Toilet to help promote each other in this process. So big shout out to all of those people who have been helping us out. Thank you very much.
Yes. I mean, SESK, who has he had a campaign called Wolf's Club.
Yeah,
Wolf Clubs, Volume 1, The Lich. And you had Kevin Philpott. He had Glenn in Monsterland. You had Sunrise Blossom by Nina Daisy Abilene. Then you had Journey into Shadows by Stone Abdullah. And then on top of that, you have so many. But just want to say, much props to everybody, because I reached out to a lot of cats and I was like, yo, do you want to cross promote? Where we're not doing like some crossover pinup, but we're just going to promote each other. And they were down with the cause. And so, much love to all you guys. Thank you so much.
Big time. You want to hit them with the indie news, Sammy?
Oh yeah. It is time for the Telemundo. Vengas aquí.
Indie news. All right, so indie news. Let me just start off by saying that opening that you had out there with you talking about the campaign. It's not for the launch page. The campaign has been live.
Yeah, the campaign is live.
The campaign is live.
It's time to get live.
It's time to get live. And it ends in March. It ends in March
8th.
March 8th. So about a week from this airing.
Yeah.
That's when the campaign will end. So it is live right now. It's happening.
Yes.
It is popping. This right here is the barcode, or the QR code, I should say, that you will hit to get to the campaign. I will be dropping this off, and if you guys are in the Yonkers area, go to the Spider's Web on Yonkers Avenue. They have a bunch of these on their counter. Go there, pick one up, put your phone, scan this bad boy right here, and it'll take you right to the website.
It's magic, bro. It's magic.
Magia, bro.
Take out your wand that you got from watching Harry Potter.
I'm about to do this right now.
Oh, let's see this. Let's see what you're doing. What are you doing, man?
Check it out, man. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Bam.
The Humover.
Bam. I'm there. I'm Kickstarter. So
that's fantastic.
So it works. So make sure that you guys get out there and just hit the link below. If you are not going to be in Yonkers, you don't have to be in Yonkers to do this. Just hit the link below, hit that, and you will be taken to There's an Alien in My Toilet. So Sam, now that the cat's in the bag's been out of the bag for about 3 weeks, tell us about this campaign, Sammy. Talk to us.
This campaign is fantastic.
It is incredible, man.
It is overwhelmingly. In fact, it's so fantastic. It even has a Medina cover, bro. It even has a Medina cover. Look at that. What? Wow. Medina cover. Those are rare finds, bro.
Now
those
listen,
on eBay.
That's gonna have a different logo, and it's been remastered.
Yes, it's been remastered.
So the book is gonna look amazing, or it looks amazing.
Yes.
So make sure you go out there and get it.
Yeah, so this campaign is filled with tons of amazing stuff. Yes. You have coloring books. You have the guidebook to all the characters of the world. You have the trading card set, which is volume 1 of a multi-tiered trading card game. The game will be featured come out the end of the year. You have 6 covers. So you have the Medina cover. You have the Matrix cover. You have the Rambo cover. You have the homage to the Ninja Turtles cover. You have the sketch cover, and then you have a cover by Masiek Empro. And Masiek Empro was the original artist supposed to be doing the Crazies, and he was one of them that helped me design the characters. And then he also did my comic book, The Adventures of Cosmic Gorf. So you have 6 covers available on the campaign. There's an educational bundle. So if you're a teacher out there and you're trying to get your kids excited about learning, there's an educational bundle for you, because Duty is all about education. There's a retail bundle for you retailers out there. Thank you to Ray's Comics out there for supporting Catch the Craze and back in the campaign. There's just so much. Oh, then there's wood art. So, I illustrate Duty on wood. And so you can get those wood pieces and put them on your wall. They're great decorative pieces. You can get a custom one done, a commission one done as well. So there's something for everybody in this. There's a catch all $5 bundle, digital bundle, where you can get everything I've created digitally, including Rush 5377 by George Medina. So you can get a copy of issue number 1 digital of Catch the Crazies, Cosmic Wars, ARG, Rush 5377, Forbidden. You can also get and also you have the kids books in there too. So you have Duty's Adventures in there. So it's an all-inclusive digital bundle. If you want to see what else is available, so there's something for everybody, as low as $5 all the way up to, you have a latex doll, limited edition, rare. There's only 7 in existence. You can get that, and there's also a plushie.
Nice.
A plushie. I said plushie. Oh, and bad Sam. A plush doll.
Wow.
Plush doll.
Wow.
That's supposed to be say plushie.
Were you reprimanded for saying plushie? What happened?
No, it just didn't sound masculine when I said it.
Oh, bro, you crazy. What are you talking to? I'm wearing salmon today, bro. What are you talking about?
You're wearing fuchsia.
This is you're colorblind. You are absolutely colorblind. You're wearing
blush.
Okay? Hey, listen, blushy, flushy. It's all good.
Yo, I used to rock pink. When I wore suits, like a navy blue suit with a pink shirt.
Bro, there's nothing wrong with that.
Pimpin'.
Say plushy, bro. You gotta just say it with your chest when you say plushy. Plushy, bro. Plushy.
It doesn't say it's all no. My plushie.
Yo, go get a plushie, bro. Yeah, it's all good. But yes. No, it sounds amazing, dude. So please, guys, go subscribe. Go and pledge to the campaign. It is live right now. The button to do so, the link to do so is right in the show notes below. It's a fun book, full of what is this? Here we go. Wait, am I upside down? Yeah, there it is.
Yes, it slaps.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's a fun book. Now, listen, we were talking the other day, Sam, about our viewership and who's watching the show, and we pulled up some numbers, and apparently, people who are in the age group, what was it, 18 to 34?
18 to 34, yes.
Yeah, that's who's watching the show. So for those of you who probably grew up watching, I don't know, SpongeBob, Dexter's Laboratory, Rugrats, Doug, Hey Arnold, those cartoons. You know, if you like that, if you like that comedy, if you like that kind of stuff, bringing it back, baby.
You know, it's fine. You know what's crazy about it? That demographic too, the 18, they're making money. You know, they in the workforce. They're trying to. They're being social media stars, whatever. They got cheddar.
They got cheddar. So, hey, listen, big shout out to my nephew's in that age group, and he, he's working right now. He's making his own money. You know, he's also a graphic artist. That he's starting to do his own thing as well. So I'm very proud of him. He's doing his thing. If you guys want to follow him, he's AJV_1128 on Instagram. Give him a follow. But yeah, dude, you're right. Absolutely. That age group is out there. They're in the workforce. So you know what I mean? But yeah, so good time. So make sure that you definitely, and by now, listen, it's 2/25. It's February 25th. The campaign launched 10 days ago, right? It's a short campaign. It's not the full 30 days.
21 days. I did 21 days. 30 days is just too long for me. It's a lot of work. The campaign, leading up to the campaign, they talk about theory, right? Everyone gives you best practices, and they say, don't post every day, post every 3 days, or don't do this. I'm just a madman. I'm just thinking about it all the time. So I'm in the think tank, so I'm always posting.
He's blowing through the red lights.
I'm just
he's flying. He's flying.
You know who I am? I'm that airplane that drops all of the pamphlets. Everyone's getting one. It's like, right? That's me. It's like
mess on the ground.
So I can't control myself. I only have one mode, and it's always beast mode. That's why. So 3 months of promoting a campaign after I came off of a campaign, and I'm fulfilling a campaign, and then I'm promoting another campaign. We're all running doing the podcast, and then during the campaign, and then have to fulfill that. It's exhausting, you know,
Right,
because
it's a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces.
yeah, I mean, when you think about all the social media places that I'm a member of, you know, I'm a member of places that not even George or Annabelle or Jonathan are members of. You know, I'm everywhere. If you got a community, I'm there. I'm like peekaboo.
This kid is doing rituals we don't know about. This he's an animal. He's an animal.
Like, yo, there he goes again.
Crazy.
No, imagine you're at your dinner table with your family, and then he comes. It's like everyone turns, and at the end of the table, there's Sam eating. Like, and who are you?
Sam is in places where he's like this. He's looking like this. He's in there. He's out there. It's over. But please make sure that you do hit the link below and pledge. By now we should have reached our goal. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that's done, and we're going into stretch goals at this point. It's hard to say because we are recording this in the past for the future, in the present. So
crazy.
Good times had by all.
But that's not the only campaign that's around.
Yes, please. Yes. The other campaign that you should be following, it's not gonna launch until a couple of months from now, about 3 months from now. But it's the Adventures of Wonderduck. The link is down below.
Right.
Hit that notify me button so that you are notified when we go live on May 4th. We will be live to do that as well. But to do that right now, anybody who is doing that right now, who's getting notified, will be getting something special, a special gift from me.
What is that, George? What is so special?
Special gift is a PDF. So basically what happens is you hit the notify me button.
A PDF?
You go to you go to Instagram. You see that right there. The Adventures of WD. You go there, send me a message, say, hey George, I just signed up. I will then email you a PDF, that is not going to be part of the campaign. It's going to be special to you guys for supporting early on. And when you do pledge, if you do pledge, then I will be sending you a printed version of the same PDF, an 8x10 version, in the package that you will receive in the mail. That's for all everybody who has a physical copy of the book. So that's what we're doing. That's what's happening with the Adventures of Wonderduck. So please sign up. Thank you to everyone who's already signed up to the campaign, and I'm excited to launch that. But right now it's about duty. So let's focus on duty, guys. Go in, pledge to that campaign. Help us get to those stretch goals. Help duty be a success, and hopefully we'll see more of them in the future. So it's all up to you right now. It's all up to you.
Yeah, it's all up to you. You know, it's I appreciate everybody who supported us on Cast the Crazies. I appreciate everybody who supported it on Forbidden. And I'm asking all of you to come back to duty. Duty is grassroots, slapstick humor. You want to be a kid again and have fun. This is a story for you. This is the series for you. And it's a limited series. It's only 10 issues. This is the first in the 10. And the book is full color, and it has trivia, it has questions, it has puzzles as well. So you get a comic book on top of some educational and fun stuff, trivia stuff that you would have to pick up the second book to answer some of the questions, or you have to go on Google and research it. So there's a lot of good stuff that's going to inspire your mind to expand. And I think that's what it is. I see sometimes we're missing it. And I grew up where, you had things that got you engaged as a kid. And this is, and so this is in all ages. So that you're not too cool for duty, and it's okay to laugh, and it's okay to be a kid, even if you have that awkward laugh, that, that kind of laugh.
Yeah, no, laugh like that. No, for sure. Laugh like that. Laugh everywhere as much as you can. Laugh like that. See what happens to you. No, I'm joking. No, you're right. Don't be shy. Laugh.
I wish I could go back with all the videos where I threw George off.
just do that. Just do a montage of all my facial expressions after you said some outlandish. I'm like, all right, this kid's getting really into it. He's doing so, and then all of a sudden you do that, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing, dude. But you know what's funny? Okay, so we're talking about duty, and issue 1 is going to be on Kickstarter right now. How important is issue 2? Why don't we go to Get Your Mail?
Oh, snap.
And we talk about that
he went there with it. Oh, snap. Let's do it.
It's time for your medicine.
The importance of number 2.
Yes.
Who's
yes.
number 2?
So we, as independent creators and as independent publishers and all that stuff, comics, we focus and we put a lot of work into our first issues, right? Because we want to go out there, we want to, put our best foot forward, and we're trying to make the first book the best book we possibly can, and that's important. That is a good thing to do, but we can't forget that second issue is just as important and maybe even harder to sell than that first issue. Right?
The second issue doesn't get the love.
It doesn't get the love.
Everybody wants number 1 because they think it's going to be a collector's item down the road. So they're like, you know what? I'm going to get 2 of them. I'll get 1 to read and 1 to save just in case it pops off down the road. But they never, or they get 1, they never even open it up. They leave it in the baggie that they got it and they put it away. So they don't even know if it's good or not.
Right.
So they like, you know what? I got number 1. I'm good.
Yeah. And they forget about issue number 2. And it's funny because I was listening to JD Calderon's got a show that he does on Sundays, Indie Comics Explained. Big shout out to JD. And he had a gentleman by the name of Marvin Wynn. And we've given Marvin Wynn, we gave him a shout out a couple of shows ago because he has this great list of indie stores that support indies. And so he made he said something that stuck with me. I was like, that second issue. We don't think about that second issue.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, and listen, selling the first issue, you might say it's hard. It's easy. That one's easy because you're pumped. You're at a convention. It's your first issue. And like you said, Sam, everybody wants that first issue, right? If you're coming out and it looks great, everybody wants that one. Not only that, the artwork, I always say this, right? The great artwork is going to sell you the first issue. Great story is going to sell you the run. But some people don't even read that first issue because they just keep it in that bag.
Yes.
But it's still important for you to make sure that second issue keeps grabbing them and keeps them engaged so that they can continue to pick up the book. It's funny because it happens to me even on shows, right? Like the first episode, all right. That second episode better grab me, otherwise you've lost me, and I'm not coming back to watch that show. And so
unless it's Cast the Craze.
Oh, hey now, dude, we're how many episodes deep now? This is episode what?
This is episode. What episode is this? So hold on a second.
So man.
Torres. This is 373.
373.
But because we're in March, this is because it was recorded back then, but it airs in March.
February.
In February. By the time we're in that week in February, we'll be in 386.
Yo, Matt. But anyway, so we're deep in episodes. But episode 2 is very important. And episode 2. Issue number 2, chapter 2, whatever you want to call it, is very important, which is why we have to give it the love it deserves. And you have to put your best foot forward, even when you're doing that second issue.
Which is why also, I think. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Say it.
No, I was going to say that stores, once you drop off an issue number 1 at a store, and this was something that again, Marvin was saying, you got to call that store up and say, hey, I got a second issue. Let me get that to you. Let me get that to you ASAP and send that second issue out to them so that they can put it on their shelves. Because a lot of times, and we've known a lot of independents come up with an issue 1, but never come out with an issue 2. And that's the stigma.
And that's the stigma. Yeah, that's the stigma. And you know what? And it's crazy because I had, it's crazy because issue 0 popped off of Forbidden, right? And issue 1 did well. Issue 2 is hard to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, there's a stigma, psychological thing when it comes to number 2. But I think it's in the creator's best interest to make sure that the first issue is so compelling and you leave enough questions at the end of that first issue that makes you want to pick up the second issue. If you don't do your due diligence in that first book, leading them to the next issue, then what's going to happen is it's just going to fall victim to the status quo. And 2s always have a tough time. I think when you have something going is when you're past 10 and you have a steady following.
Right.
You got to get past those first 10 issues.
Yeah.
And I think it sucks, especially as an independent, because people want credibility, they want consistency, they want to see. And sometimes people wouldn't even touch your first few issues until you had enough in the pipeline. They're like, you know what? All right, now I'm going to check it out. Now I see that these guys are serious. Yeah. So, there's a stigma around a lot of things. There's a black cloud over everything. You can sit there and cry over spilled milk and like, why? Or you can say, you know what? I'm just going to create and I'm gonna, if I set out to do the 10 issues or 20 issues, whatever it is, do it. I mean, Todd's a perfect example. Todd McFarlane. Of everybody that he's been in the arena with, he's the only one that's consistent past that number, past 300. He's killing it. So, and he stood with that one title consistency, and he's built that reputation, that loyalty, that following. He has cool action figures, all that stuff, whatever. So I think if you want your number 2 to sell, you have to promote it just as hard as you did that number 1, because I think what happens is you fall off.
Yeah.
You think it's
you may go ahead.
You think it's a gimme. You think, the one was a success, and number 2 is just going to ride that same wave, and then like, wait, the audience is not the same. What's up? There's not, and that's where you have to work 10 times harder for that second issue than you did for the first issue.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. I think you have to, like you said, you have to work even harder to sell that second one than the first, because like you said, the first one is going to sell as long as you have great artwork in the cover. People are probably going to come up, and if the artwork is great inside, they're probably going to be like, I'll pick this up. I think what you have to do on that second issue is if the cover for the first issue was badass, that cover for the second issue has to be even better. Because remember, like we just said, they may not even read the first issue.
Yeah.
So you have all of these things that you've left, these crumbs that you've left, and the artwork is great, but they didn't even read it. That second issue has to grab them. That cover for that second issue has to be like, whoa, what is this all about? And I think that will help you sell that second issue. But it is just as important, man. Just as important as the first. I think the second issue is that important as well.
Yeah, and that though not the hustle, it holds true, because I worked harder for the consecutive forbiddens than I did for the first one.
Right.
I'm working harder now for Designated in My Toilet, but I'm smarter about it. So I'm taking everything we learned from Catch the Crazies. I'm taking everything we learned from Forbidden, and I'm applying that to this campaign. And I've spoken to a lot of professionals that done this, and I've taken 90% of the advice. And the one advice they say is don't post every day. I just can't stop myself. I have to. And so I think you have to trust your instincts at the same token, but the hustle remains the same. The moment you fall off, your product falls off. The moment you think you got it is when you're going to see a dip. And that dip is because your energy level dipped. That means you did something different. That means you took a break. That means instead of putting that 8 hours, you put in 4 hours, and you thought you were going to get the same result. No, you need to go in and put that 8 hours, or maybe 10 this time, because now it's even harder.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you're saying with the Kickstarters, right? I think you have to. They always say you know the rules before you can break them, right? You know the rules. You're willing to break them, and that's fine, right? That's fine. You try something different. They say don't post every day. You post every day. Cool. But I think that what happens is you have to learn. If that was a mistake, if, for example, posting too much leads to maybe people just get tired of seeing this every day, and they're just like, they tune you out and they no longer do anything. They don't support it. Then you got to take a look at that and say, okay, wait, that was right. I can't do that again, and change it. A lot of people decide, no, you know what? I know better, and I'm going to try it again the same way. That's insane.
Well,
that's
where I think that there's a flip side to it. I think you have to be creative in your postings. If you're posting the same image every day and the same approach every day and the same pitch every day, that's when it can get tiresome. But I think if you make it playful, engaging, and I think that's what Duty does best. Working with him has been the best thing in my life, because Duty brings a different approach to it, right?
He's the ultimate cosplayer, bro.
Yeah, every time you see him, he's in a different uniform. He's in a different costume.
Yeah, but I think that you can post every day as long as you're posting in different platforms.
Yes.
Like if you hit Twitter today, Facebook tomorrow, Instagram here, TikTok there, and you spread them out, I think you're still posting every day, but you're just posting it in different. Oh, hey, how you doing? In different places. Did you just leave? What happened, Sam? But yeah, I think that's what we have to avoid. I don't know where Sam went.
Something happened.
Hello.
Something happened. That was crazy. Woody was like, "Yo, stop talking about me." So like, for instance, I have the Art of Samuel. on Instagram.
Exactly.
So I'll post something on the art of Samuel but that's very different than what I post on Disneyland in my toilet. Because I have in Disneyland in my toilet channel, right? So you're not going to see the same. So you're not going to see like a saturation of the same product, you know. So and I think that's what you have to do. You have to play off on making sure that people see different things at different times.
Because we talked about that, right, Sam? Like that, and that's fine. Don't post every day if you have 1 million followers or 2 million followers, and they just get tired of seeing everything the same every day the same thing. But when you're small like us, you need to be pumping stuff out because not everybody's going to see it. If you have 400 or 500 followers, you know, what 10% of those people are going to see it? Maybe 50 people if you post it just on a regular basis. And with the algorithms that are out there with Facebook, not everybody's going to see that. You know what I mean? Like we just don't make enough noise for them to even, you know, acknowledge the fact that we're on this. So
no, and I think again, there is no when you're a little guy and you're unknown and you don't have that demand for your product, there is no right or wrong. There's just hustle. Go out there and hustle, learn, and then learn from your hustle. See what works, what doesn't work. See
yes, that's important.
Yes,
that's the most important thing.
So with that said, that was another episode of Get Your Meds.
Yes.
And I see that our guest is in the waiting room. So we're going to run to a commercial break. So again, everybody has a campaign and everybody wants to get the word out. You know, the best way to do that is to get the word out with the fastest growing podcast in the nation. So why don't you sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze? And instead of hearing me talk about it, here we go.
Are you sitting at home wondering how you're going to spread the word about that Comic-Con that you're about to appear at? And you want to get some press? How about your first book signing? How do you spread the word so you can get an audience there? Or that first panel at a Comic-Con? Who do you talk to? Or even your first crowdfunding on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? The world is turning to podcasting to get the word out. Why not you? Sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze and start promoting yourself today.
There you go. Welcome, Damien Torres.
What's up, D?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Not bad, not bad. We were just talking to everybody about issues number 2 and how important those are. This is issue number 3 of a book called The Winchester Mystery House. And we have the artist on issue number 3, Mr. Damien Torres. What's going on, Damien? How you doing, bud?
Doing well. Just busy. It's a great day, but very busy.
You, brother.
How about you guys?
Oh, man. Crazy. Sam's got a campaign going on. Well, as of the airing of this episode, it's all going on right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been nuts with the Kickstarter and stuff like that. But yeah, dude, I've been wanting to get you on the show, bro. I really appreciate you coming on. I met Damien at our local comic book shop, the Spider's Web. At the time when I met you, you were working behind the counter there, and now you're joined comics, man. You got this book. This thing looks amazing. Let me just show some of the pages in there. It's amazing work.
Hey, your art is fantastic, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So when I saw the title, I said, you know, I thought of Supernatural, the series.
It's really cool stuff. Now, this is based on a true story here, the Winchester Mystery House, right?
It is. Yeah. I mean, like it's a real house. You could. I haven't been there myself, but it's based out in California. Mm-hmm. They offer tours there and everything too. So like you could check it out, see the history of the place, or learn about the history of the place. Yeah. But yeah, like we took the main events that happened with the foundation of this house and we fictionalized certain elements. So like people have reported seeing certain ghosts and such there, and they're pretty consistent stories. Mm-hmm. So that's what we essentially picked up on. So we kind of like build an origin for those kind of scenarios, while at the same time weaving a story that, you know, builds in the actual history of the place. So you do learn a little bit about it. At the same time, you get like this fictional story based within the realm and the elements that we see here.
Yeah, it's a really, really good story. We're going to go back into that a little further in a few minutes. But yeah, so Damien, tell us a little bit about where you grew up. Who's Damien Torres? Give us your background.
Well, I was born and raised in the Bronx. I used to live out in Kingsbridge, and then when I was about the age of like 8, my parents, we moved to Yonkers. And from that point on, you know, I guess I started building a pathway towards me becoming an artist. It was something I already liked doing. But I had a teacher, an art teacher back in my elementary school, who he had like printouts of like Spider-Man 2099 and like all these like 90s books around the classroom.
Yeah.
So now I'm someone who grew up on like Batman miniseries and Spider-Man cartoons and X-Men. So like I was already familiar with these characters through these animations. But I had no idea about 2099 or like those kind of characters. So you know, that intrigued me, and you know, I wanted to learn more about them. And then it was the video games like Spider-Man on PS1, where like 2099 was an unlockable costume, and that like again it exacerbated my knowledge for this sort of stuff. And yeah, so like that's how I came up.
Did you ever collect 2099 thing?
Honestly, not until like way later.
I remember when that book came out, bro. I was like, "Holy shit, this looks amazing, dude!" I started collecting it. I started collecting that book actually.
Yeah, I probably didn't get a copy until my 20s, honestly.
Wow.
Like again, like at that time, I wasn't aware, but of course that was going on, and like the 90s, Jim Lee X-Men was going on. I was just, used to cartoons. So like I didn't really get into comics, like reading comics, until right around when Civil War was happening. The first comic event of Civil War. So that's like what, 2004, 2005?
Yeah, something like that.
So before that, my again, the cartoons were my introduction. I used to take like coloring books and sticker books and like kind of like try to recopy the drawings that you'd see in there, like on the inside covers and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that was my upbringing in terms of like comics and what got me into it. What really pushed me into it though was actually trading cards. There used to be that Pathmark on Central Avenue.
Yeah, I remember that place.
Right, and they would have like this vending machine, and it had like these 90s Fleer X-Men cards. That was all done by the Kuberts, which is eventually the school I went to.
Right.
So that's like when I started taking note of artists and their different styles and what was the formulating years of my, I guess, artistic growth at that point. So yeah, cartoons, video games, that's really got it for me. The first comic that I remember owning it was actually as far back as 4th grade. One of my friends had a birthday party, and inside all the party bags there was a comic in there. So the first comic I remember reading was actually Guardians of the Galaxy number 37.
Wow.
And it had a cover where Dormammu is fighting Doctor Strange, and like Doctor Strange is like really old, and like they tease like he dies in the story, and you see like a new Sorcerer Supreme throughout the story. So yeah, that was my first like real exposure to a comic book.
I'm thinking about those comics, but I'm like, they must have been like all messed up inside those little party bags. Like they must have stuffed those things in there.
You would think that, but they were actually all bagged and boarded. Like
really?
This friend, I still know him today. His name is Chris Maselli. We bumped into each other at Comic Cons and stuff like that. But like that really got me into it, and it was again around this time of Civil War when I started really getting into it. And some of the first books I picked up was the Venom Carnage series by Clayton Crane. And or at least it was drawn by Clayton Crane. I think Peter Milligan wrote it. And it was the superhero arc from Batman Superman, the Jeff Loeb, Michael Turner one.
Yeah.
And it was like Michael Turner's art that like really engaged me. After that, I got a reprint of the first issue of Batman Hush, and like that was it from there. Like that was my first like true introduction to Jim Lee. I'm pretty sure I've seen his work before.
Yeah.
But that's when I started to like really recognize it for what it was and what a big deal like Jim Lee was. So
yeah,
I guess that's like where it really started out for me.
Did you so basically I mean Michael Turner was I remember when we did that convention in Philly, Sam, and he was doing like drawings, and he did like this drawing on one of these easels and gave it to this little kid, and I was like, oh man, I was jealous. He was amazing, dude. He was such an amazing artist.
Yeah.
How did you end up at the Kubert School? When did you decide, you know what? Because to have the know-how to say, okay, if I want to do comics, I got to go there. Was that what happened, or was it just I just like to draw, so that's an art school, I'm going to go there?
No, I always knew I wanted to go there. When I started picking up comics, more regularly, more frequently, a lot of them would have the advertisements for the school in the back, right? So then I would put two and two together. I was like, wait, those trading cards these collect. These are the Kuberts. And then I started looking for their comics. So I would get like a lot of the X-Men comics that both Andy and Adam did. I found like old beat up copies of like Sergeant Rock from Joe Kubert. And I think some of his Tarzan stuff too. So like, that's what really got me involved and into like their work. And I was like, well, if they run a school, this has to be like what I need. Right. So, so from like 8th grade, I knew I wanted to go there. I didn't go there right away. Like I know you had Michael Grassi on here before.
Yeah.
So I went to the College of Winchester first, where he was one of my teachers. And like that was kind of like a stopgap for me. So I did my 2 years there. I got my associates in digital media. But then I felt like I was ready to go to Kubert. So I tried it out. It was like the only school I applied to at that point. Like I was getting there. And that's not something I would recommend to any student who are listening. But I just knew I wanted to go there. And luckily enough, I got in.
Nice. Is that a 4-year school or two? Or did you do 2 years?
3-year, actually.
You did 3 years. Oh, it's a 3-year.
3-year, you get your artist certificate, as they call it. And they do a good job of like trying to help you, at least get some entry level work within the industry.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it turned out for me. I had both Adam and Andy as a teacher.
Oh, nice.
Didn't get to experience Joe. Joe actually passed away right before I started my 2nd year.
Oh, really?
But I did get to meet him a few times, and know like what a legend he was too.
Yeah.
And just being in his presence was like enough. So yeah,
You're skipping all of the meat and potatoes.
Right?
Right?
Meat and potatoes.
Let's talk about that first day of class.
Yeah.
What was did you have butterflies? What was going on through your head? What was it like when you walked through the halls? Walk us through that experience.
Oh man. The first day. Well, first off, like all of us sat in the classroom and we all just picked a random seat, and they had like this portfolio filled with the supplies we're going to use for like the rest of the year. So you had like this like artist toolbox basically with all these art supplies and inking materials, brushes, pencils, things that like I hadn't really used at that point at all, except for pencils. And you had this portfolio that just had all these different stacks of paper and different varieties of papers. Like you had your Bristol boards, you had illustration boards, all these different things. So the first day was really just unpacking everything, learning about what each thing was, and putting it back in its appropriate spot, and like taking it from there.
But were you sizing up the competition? Were you like, am I good enough? What was going through your head as an aspiring comic creator? Were you looking at the other guys and saying, I wonder how, what his style is?
Because that's what Sam would have done.
Yes.
That's how he walks into a room and he's like, all right, who's better than me?
For me, it's like Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
You go with it's like, who's the Top Gun in this room? Right?
Dave was like, I'm just trying to freaking finish today, bro.
Yeah, I think subconsciously we all had a bit of that going on. Not that like we outright said it, but like it's there. It's art. Art is, I think it is kind of a competitive field in some levels. So, well, I know right off the bat, one of the people I hit it off with, he goes by the name Aries. He's also an artist, obviously, and we hit it off right away because we were like the only brown people in there. I mean, not that there wasn't others, but like we instantly recognized each other. Like we're New Yorkers. This school is based out in New Jersey.
Right.
So we kind of recognized that right away. We kind of hit it off right away. But the rest of the students that we had someone from Mexico. We had someone from the Netherlands.
Wow.
You had a wide variety of different cultures within these classes here. So I think the first day, like some of us had gotten to know each other because we were already living like in the dorms, like a few days prior to that.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't until like probably the days after where we started to really find out each other's personalities and like really click with each other and see where everyone's at artistically. And I think from that point on, you would start to see like, all right, this person's at this level. I'm over here.
Right.
I got to climb to the top now,
Right.
And yeah, so like there was definitely a competitive side to all of it, but at the same time, we all pushed each other as well.
What was your favorite class, Steve?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that like, we all finished school, of course, graduated and all, because we found out over time, like it's kind of easier to get into the school. It's harder to stay in there. So by the time we graduated, we were a pretty small fraction compared to what we started off with.
Right.
So why is it hard to stay in there? Why would you say it's hard to stay in
there? Well, there's always a financial aspect of things. I think that's a given at almost any school you go to.
Yeah.
But the other was because of how grueling the work is.
Okay.
The school kind of has a reputation of being like the boot camp of art. And in a lot of ways it is that. Like you would get like 10 assignments per week and you would have different deadlines for each one and sometimes multiple deadlines hit the same exact day.
Cool.
And the way the school worked too was you couldn't move on to the next semester unless every assignment was complete. So like even if it was late, you had to get it complete. Otherwise, you can't move on. So yeah, like anytime the semester was coming around, that's like chopping season,
Oh.
So yeah, like that's what it was the entire way through. And I think there's also the fact that like, people have this idea of what comics is when they're going in. And then when you see the reality of it, that changes everything. You realize like how much work and effort has to be put in at all times. It's not just, I'm going to draw this today because it's fun. No, you got to follow scripts. You got to follow, your deadlines. You got to make sure there's consistency. You got to do backgrounds, like everything, right? So I think certain people have this one idea, and then when they see like how much has to go into it, for some, it might be too much to handle.
And I think it prepares you for the industry, though. I
Yeah,
think,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? Because a lot of
Absolutely.
people think that deadlines are a real thing, dude. Like
Yeah.
deadlines is what the industry, unless you're Jim Lee and you can take your time on a book, but if you're not that, it's not going to happen. What was your favorite class at the school?
Oh yeah, and I guess that goes into like meeting the teachers. So when I met all the other teachers, some of them I recognized, like there were names I was familiar with, but it was like having Adams and Andy's class when like that butterfly effect would come in because these are your heroes here, and here they are actually teaching you. So at that point, I definitely felt awestruck. But to go into like favorite classes, my top three was narrative art, which were the Andy and Adam classes, anatomy classes, so like the figure drawing and things like that. We had one figure drawing class every year, and basic drawing. Basic drawing was where we learned mostly about the fundamentals. It's like all these classes would kind of connect back to each other in certain ways, but I think those three were like probably the main encompassing ones for all the classes we had in general. So like those are the ones I think really helped push us all like in terms of being a draftsman. And then every other class we had outside of that, it kind of just built on top of what we learned from those main three. So yeah, I would go with those three as my favorites.
That's awesome, man. We had a Fernando Ruiz. Did you ever have him?
Yeah, he was my basic drawing teacher. Yeah,
he
was
on
my
the show.
basic. Yeah, he was my basic drawing for I think my first and second year. Third year I had someone else. Yeah, he was my first 2 years. for basic drawing. And Fernando, I love Fernando, but like that first day, like he was definitely the most intimidating teacher we had.
Really?
Which you would never expect. Like, this is the guy who draws Archie, right? So, but he just had this commanding presence,
Really?
like as he teaches the class, and everybody was like just dead quiet and like paying attention to everything he has to say. But then over time, like you realize how soft he really is. So, but he was someone that no matter what, he instantly had our respect, and he definitely set the tone for like how serious we should treat this. If this is a career that we definitely want.
Right.
Yeah, he was on the show, and he had some great stories about even when he was at the school, and he was, because he was a student there too, and he ended up going teaching. And I mean, we're running a little bit at a time, but so D, you teach now, don't you? You're an art teacher now. Are you still doing that, or has the comic book drawing kind of like the work that you're doing for comics, is that taking over your teaching? How are you balancing that?
Honestly, I still don't know how I do it all, but I still am teaching. I actually just came out of work today from teaching. But yeah, like I try to split the time evenly. Like I kind of work like I kind of teach like every other day, and then in between all that, I have my deadlines that I'm working on.
And
So what's up?
Where do you teach?
The One River School of Art out in Hartsdale. I teach different classes, but the main one I cover is actually a manga class. So, that of course goes right back to narrative art in general. It's just a Japanese way of storytelling.
Right. Okay. That's awesome, dude. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So let's fast forward
Go
to Source Point Press and your current project. How did you get on the project? Walk us through that and tell us about the project itself.
You're sorry, I cut out a little bit. So you're talking about Winchester, right?
Yes.
Okay. So one day I was at work, and out of the blue, I just saw that I had a DM on Instagram and Twitter, and I also had an email from this one guy. It was Josh Warner, who is the writer and he's also the editor-in-chief at Source Point Press. So the artist that they had before on issues 1 and 2, Dustin Irvin, I guess something had come up and he couldn't finish or complete issue 3, like what was originally intended. So at this point, like they were, running close to the point where they had to really hone in and get the work done. I don't know how he came across my work, but I do know that Dustin and I were already following each other. So it's possible maybe Dustin was scouting out for people and passed it on to Josh. But that's how it came about. Josh found me through social media, followed me, messaged me everywhere. And as I was like reading through the details, I was like, I've been wanting to do a horror story, and I've wanted to do a period piece. Like, I thought those would be fun genres to tackle, and here's 2 in 1. So that's how that worked out. I signed up. We had a good Zoom call, and I talked to I met with the rest of the team and the investors and such, and that's how everything was put together there.
That's awesome. How much time did they give you to complete this book, bro? Because I know that you said like Dustin was leaving. So how much time did you have to complete this?
I think we completed it in about 2 months.
Wow. Good for
Yeah.
you, man.
So like it was, it was, but I didn't feel like stressed at all with it. Like I was handling it maybe 2 pages a day.
That's awesome.
But it just felt like everything I've done prior to this was kind of leading up to this. Yeah. So it's like all that before was kind of training for this kind of experience. And I just had a good time working on it all the way through.
That's awesome, bro. Look at that. Dude, and I saw you at the shop, at the comic book shop the other day, and you had the actual pages, like the ones that you did. And I mean, I love the coloring and I love the way the book came out, but your pages, dude, like there's this one page, this one here with the stairs.
Oh yeah.
If you see the pencils of that thing, bro, like I mean, like I said, I love it, and it's not a knock on this, but it doesn't do it justice for like what the pencils and inks actually look like. Like it's really, really good work, D. And I'm very happy for you. What's next? What's next for Damien? What are you working on now?
Well, the next thing, I just got the script for what will be the free comic book day issue for Winchester. After that, I'm going to be doing issues 4, 5, and 6. And then there's this other thing that I just got recently. I'm not sure how much I can really talk about it. It is a tabletop game for one of the big two. I'll put it at that.
Okay, good. Damn, bro.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome. That is awesome, dude.
So how can people find you? What are your social handles if you want to reach out to you?
Damien Torres Art. Same name on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on Facebook as Damien Dimitri Torres, or you could follow the Art of Damien Torres. I haven't actually updated that one too often lately, but Instagram and Twitter, Damien Torres Art, are my main ones.
Outstanding. Thank you, Damien, for being on the show. But there's so much to unwrap with you.
Oh, dude, there's so much, bro.
Show.
Yeah, I wish we had more time. I would love to
absolutely
come back and talk some more.
Definitely, because I'm sure you have a lot of fascinating stories and experiences that other aspiring artists would love to hear.
Yeah.
So thank you for being on Catch the Craze, and we'll definitely be talking soon.
Thank you for having me, and great talk, guys.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Thanks, D. We'll talk soon, brother.
Sure thing.
All right, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was Damien Torres. Again, check out the link. It's in the summary. Go check out his work. It's fantastic. Go to Source Point Press and get yourself a copy. With that said, hit the link below. Support There's an Alien in My Toilet. It's there. It's live. Come on. Duty is on fire. Thank you, everybody, for the support. And don't forget to sign up for the Adventures of Wonderduc. Also, the link is on the Duty campaign, so you can actually hit it there as well. With that said, I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
How you describe me? He said, I'm the
what? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.